Imagine hitting rock bottom, not the dramatic, instantaneous kind, but the slow, grinding bottom where every single day is just math, and the numbers never add up. That was my life. I was fighting a war on 3 fronts: my mother's terminal illness, my brother's eviction, and my own looming homelessness. And then, fate threw me a rescue line disguised as a catastrophic medical emergency, a moment that would prove that the difference between a hero and a criminal sometimes just depends on the color of your skin and the logo on your shirt. My name is Tyrone Jackson. I'm in my early 30s, and I drive for a living. I start my day not with coffee, but with the cold, hard reality of my phone screen. Final notice for electricity, due in 48 hours. Mother's medical bills at St. Jude's Mercy, $48,000 and ticking. Rent due in 3 days. And my weekly earnings from the rideshare app? Pathetic. I needed over $600 just to stay afloat for the next 72 hours, and I had no sleep, just the open road of Dallas, Texas. And then there was my brother, Kevin. My rock. He called me that morning, his voice raw. They fired him after 20 years at the company, claiming a non-compete clause that didn't exist. Now he had an eviction notice too. $3,000 by month's end. Ty. I'm drowning. Mom's dying. You're drowning, too. How much can one man carry? He asked. And I told him, everything, because when you're the last man standing, you just don't have a choice. I gripped the wheel and started driving. My first passenger was a white businessman, barking into his phone about firing employees for not working 60 hours a week. He glanced at me and forced a smile. You work hard, right, driver? These young people want everything handed to them. I just forced a smile back and said, just trying to make ends meet, sir. He nodded, satisfied, and went back to his call. Cut their benefits, they'll quit on their own. That was the casual cruelty I dealt with daily. Hours bled into hours. I was counting coins for gas, skipping meals, feeling the familiar, acidic ache of hunger. I helped an elderly woman carry her groceries, refusing the meager tip she offered, because some goodness, some small acts of humanity, just have to be free. Then came the new ride request, the Sterling estate. The affluent suburbs where my yearly income wouldn't cover the monthly HOA fees, where the security guards eyed my beat-up car like I was casing the joint. But the fare was $18, and $18 was oxygen. I pulled up to the enormous mansion. Ms. Ava Sterling hurried out, late for a foundation dinner. She was in a $4,000 designer dress, beautiful, completely absorbed in her phone, oblivious to the fact that she was sitting in the same reality as me. St. Jude's Mercy Hospital, quickly. I'm late, she instructed, never looking up. We merged onto the highway. A few minutes in, I saw it in the rearview mirror. Her face, which had been pale with rush, went completely ashen. Are you okay? Fine, just drive fast, she snapped, clutching her chest. Miss, you don't look. Her phone clattered to the floor. Her eyes rolled back. Ava Sterling stopped breathing. My heart jumped into my throat. The crisis negotiator training, the de-escalation skills, the survival mode, all of it vanished. This was raw, immediate, human. I swerved violently to the shoulder, tires screaming, barely avoiding a crash. I fumbled for my phone, hands shaking, dialing 911. 911, what's your emergency? My passenger, she's not breathing. Highway 35 near the Highland exit. I need an ambulance now. The dispatcher was calm, professional. Ambulance is 8 minutes out, sir. Do you know CPR? 8 minutes. She'd be dead in 4. I flashed back to the free community class at the church. My mother's heart attack scare years ago. This time, I can do something. I know CPR, I stated, the words forcing their way out. Good. Get her on a flat surface immediately. I yanked open the back door, pulled Ava's limp body out onto the hot pavement beside my old sedan, and found her sternum. 30 compressions. 2 breaths. My arms burned. Sweat dripped into my eyes. I was aware of the scene. A black man kneeling over an unconscious, wealthy white woman in an expensive dress, cars slowing down, cell phones being raised. I didn't care. Breathe. Please, God, breathe. Sirens wailed in the distance. And then, the sound of a helicopter. Closer. I kept compressing. And then, he landed. A man in a $6,000 suit, leaping out of the chopper, sprinting toward us. Victor Sterling, Ava's billionaire father. His eyes locked onto the scene, and my world exploded. He didn't see a rescuer. He saw a black man's hands on his daughter's chest, and something in him snapped. "Get your dirty black hands off my daughter." Before I could turn, he grabbed my collar and yanked me backward with violent force. My body crashed onto the pavement, the back of my skull cracking hard against the concrete. Stars burst across my vision, pain radiating through my spine. "Sir, please." I did CPR. She stopped breathing. I gasped, trying to scramble up. Victor Sterling loomed over me, trembling with rage. "You think I'm stupid? A black driver alone with my unconscious daughter in this neighborhood." He shoved me down hard. "Security. Restrain him now." 2 guards in tactical gear materialized instantly, slamming me face first against the hot metal hood of my own car, wrenching my arms behind my back. The heat of the engine block burned my cheek. I was helpless, pinned, arrested for saving a life. And then, behind us, Ava coughed. A wet, desperate sound. And gasped. She started breathing. Victor spun around. He saw his daughter, blouse torn, angry red marks from the compressions stamped across her chest. Then his gaze snapped back to me, pinned and restrained. "What did you do to her?" he roared, pulling out his phone. "I'm calling the police. You're going to prison for this." The ambulance, summoned by my 911 call, arrived screaming. The lead medic knelt beside Ava, checking her vitals. Victor Sterling pointed at me, still pinned against the hood. I found him on top of my daughter. He assaulted her. The medic didn't even look up. She checked her tablet, listened to her radio, then examined Ava's chest. Symmetrical bruising. Proper hand placement. "Sir, we have the 911 recording. This man reported cardiac arrest and administered CPR correctly. He saved your daughter's life." She pointed to Ava, who was breathing clearly now. Without immediate CPR, she would have brain damage in 4 minutes. We were 8 minutes away. Victor Sterling's face went white. "Let him go," he whispered. The guards released me. I stumbled, rubbing my wrists, raw and red. Victor looked at me, no longer with rage, but a chilling confusion. "You called 911? You risked a lawsuit, assault charges. Why would someone like you?" He caught himself, unable to finish the sentence. Ava was loaded into the ambulance. Before the doors closed, Victor called out, "What's your name?" "Tyrone Jackson." "I'll contact you. We need to talk." But the talk never happened immediately. Instead, I drove home and found an email notification. Rideshare account suspended. Pending passenger safety investigation. I had lost my only source of income. My mother's meds were running out. Kevin had 48 hours before eviction. All because I did the right thing. The next day, Richard Caldwell's office called. He met me at the hospital. He offered me the solution, a thick envelope containing $50,000 as gratitude. It was a king's ransom to me. It would solve every single one of my problems. "No thank you, Mr. Sterling," I said, my voice steady. "I don't want money for saving someone's life." He blinked, genuinely confused, seeing a refusal he couldn't comprehend. I left, taking nothing but his business card. I went straight to my mother at St. Jude's. But the medical admin was waiting. "Mr. Jackson, your mother's treatment has been denied by the insurance company. Outstanding balance, $48,000. The insurance provider, Sterling Medical Group. The name hit me like a punch. I swallowed my pride and dialed Victor Sterling. I told him about the denial, the $48,000 bill. I asked him to help. His voice returned, cold and corporate. The denial was technically correct according to policy guidelines. The pre-existing condition clause is standard in that tier of coverage. I've arranged a payment plan, $500 per month. That's the best I can make within company policy. You can't simply override it? You're the chairman. It's not that simple, Brandon. There are boards, shareholders, legal liability. It's exactly that simple, Mr. Sterling. I shot back, my voice quiet and hard. You just won't. I saved your daughter's life, and you're hiding behind policy you enforce.